In this video, we will show you how to replace your washer fluid reservoir with pump assembly on this Jeep Patriot. This will be located along the passenger side of your engine compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. To be able to remove our part, we're going to have to remove our coolant reservoir first. To do that, we're going to make our way all the way over towards the top of the radiator. Let's start disconnecting our overflow hose from the top of the radiator here. If you needed to, you could remove your radiator cap. You just want to make sure that your cooling system is not under pressure. To disconnect the hose itself, just go ahead and take hold of it. We're going to give it a little twist, attempting to separate it and pull it off of the area. A thorough inspection of the radiator where it mounts, just confirming that it's not damaged in any way. Go ahead and follow that hose down to its next mounting point, down in this area. Now for this, we're just going to pry this out of place. You can use a trim tool or even a screwdriver if necessary. All right, now we can start dislodging the coolant overflow tank from its mounting bracket. You're going to find that it has one 13mm headed mounting bolt. Let's remove that. Continuing on, we want to take hold of our overflow hose so it's not facing down. Have a look in this area where your coolant reservoir and washer fluid reservoir meet. We're going to draw the coolant reservoir straight forward and away from this area. Should be able to go ahead and wiggle it right out of position. A quick inspection and we'll set this aside. We can continue on to our one 13mm headed mounting bolt. With the bolt out of there, we can take hold of this, lift it up as necessary. Now that we have this dislodged, we can see both of our power steering lines. We're going to dislodge both of these and set the reservoir aside. Of course, there could still be fluid inside of the reservoir or even the hoses. I'm just going to put a small collection receptacle into this area. We want to collect and recycle all the fluid as necessary. Now we're going to start removing the hose clamp from our larger hose here. For this, it has a squeezable clamp. I'm just going to use some pliers. We can squeeze that in. I'm going to bring the clamp down the hose a little bit here so it's away from our power steering reservoir. Continuing on, we need to remove the hose from the reservoir. You might have to break it free using a hose pick. Okay, we'll make sure that this drains into our collection receptacle, of course. Okay, that's pretty much done draining now. You'll find on your brand new power steering reservoir, it came with some rubber plugs. Let's just go ahead and insert those onto our original power steering reservoir, preventing any fluid from making its way out as we continue on. Now that we have the hose off the reservoir, the next thing you need to do is give it a quick inspection, make sure it is soft and pliable, and not torn, worn, or damaged in any way. That looks good. I'm going to set this aside. Let's continue on to the next hose. For the next hose clamp, we're just continuing on with our pliers. Go ahead and squeeze that in. We'll slide it out of place. Typically for this one, I like to just squeeze on the clamp, and then I can remove that reservoir. And there it is, friend. Up along the top of the washer fluid reservoir, you're going to find a 13mm mounting bolt. We can remove that. Now that we have that bolt out, we're going to take hold of the washer fluid reservoir. You're going to have to give it a little wiggle straight up and out. It does have one small locating tab on the bottom of the reservoir. We just go ahead and move this around a little bit until it slides up and out. Now we can't go too far. We still have an electrical connector and two hoses to remove from this area. As far as the electrical connector, it has a locking tab. It's right behind the wiring harness. You can see it right here. We'll go ahead and press that in and slip this up and out of place. A quick inspection for corrosion, of course. That looks good. Now continuing on, we have two washer fluid hoses. Let's just go ahead and dislodge it from our washer fluid tank up here. The other one should slide out of place as well. Once you have plenty of slack from both of those, we're going to make our way all the way down to the bottom where the washer fluid pump is. Prior to removing these washer fluid hoses, you need to keep in mind if you have any washer fluid inside of the reservoir, it's going to start making its way out of this area. It would be a good idea to have a couple small rubber boots to slide over this area. Otherwise, you can just carefully cup the area with your fingers as you remove them, and then of course either reuse or recycle the fluid properly. Go ahead and give this a wiggle. Like I said, fluid will start making its way out of here. There we are. I have my small rubber boot. Just going to slide that right on there. A quick inspection of our hose. Something else that's important to mention is you do not want to mix up your two hoses. They need to go back into their original position. Otherwise, when you go to function the washer pump, it's going to squirt the washer fluid into the wrong area. Let's get that next one now. And there it is, friend. Okay friend, it's time for installation of our brand new washer fluid reservoir with pump assembly. Let's start with the hoses. Now when reinstalling the hoses, as I mentioned, you do not want to switch where these go. Let's reinstall them into the same corresponding port. Just line it up, press it on. Once you feel as though you have it on there fairly well, just go ahead and give it a quick wiggle, confirming it's properly secured in place. As for this hose, it's going to make its way up along this area of the washer fluid reservoir. Let's line it up, press it in. Continue on to the next hose. Same process here, just go ahead and line it up, press it onto there. We'll double check to make sure that's secure. Let's start securing that hose as well. Makes its way through that small area and then up along the top of the tank. Now that we have both those hoses in place, let's continue on with the electrical connector for our washer fluid pump. Go ahead and line it up, press it in, listen for a click. A light tug confirming that's properly secure. Now it's time to set the washer fluid tank into the proper position along its base. As far as the washer fluid tank itself, it has one locating tab, protrudes down. We're going to align it with its corresponding port on the body of the vehicle. Once it's aligned, just go ahead and tap it down as far as possible and we'll continue on with our mounting bolt up along the top. Let's bring our tank into the proper position. We have our 13mm headed mounting bolt. Start it in, snug it up. Double check to make sure that's properly secured in place. Now it's time to install our power steering reservoir. When installing this, we're going to start with our hoses first. I'm going to start with the larger hose. We'll slide that onto the reservoir as far as possible. Once you have it on there, continue on with your clamp. We're going to slide this all the way up towards that reservoir, but we do want to be able to see hose on both sides of the clamp once it's fully installed. That looks good. We'll continue on to the next hose. Essentially the same process for this one. We're going to have to press it on there as far as possible. Just going to move this clamp a little bit further out of the way here. Now as you can tell, this clamp is a little bit too far towards that power steering reservoir. It's hanging off the hose a little bit. We can't leave it like this. It needs to be properly aligned. Let's make our adjustment. There we are, I can see hose on both sides. A quick tug confirming that both of those hoses are properly secured in place. Let's secure that power steering reservoir. Start in your mounting bolt, snug it up. Now it's time to install the coolant reservoir. Let's get this in position. As we bring the coolant reservoir down along this area, we're going to have to slide the coolant reservoir in and over the tab that's part of the washer fluid reservoir. Let's bring it in here, line it up, press it in. Let's get that hose out of the way. After an audible click, we're going to be paying attention to the mounting bolt port next. Start on the mounting bolt and snug it up. Let's just make sure that's secure, and now we can make our way to resecuring our overflow hose. Let's make sure we run it along the proper area. Slide that right up on there. Once you have it pressed on, attempt to tug it out of position. It should not slide out of position. If for some reason it's a loose fit, you can use a wire tie in this area, holding it on. This feels fine. Let's fill the power steering reservoir. Go ahead and remove the cap. Let's continue on with the manufacturer's specified power steering fluid directly inside of this port. You can use a funnel if necessary. When we go to fill the system, you want to have a look deep inside this area. It's kind of difficult to see, but if you were to look inside of there, you can see that there is a small white line making its way across. There is a second line all the way deep in here. This would essentially be the low point, so you want to make sure that the fluid's definitely not any lower than that. To fill this, I'm going to be using a funnel. We're going to be using the manufacturer's specified fluid inside this area. I got some fluid here. There we are. That looks good. Let's reinstall our cap. Now we finished our installation. The next thing you need to do is go ahead and fill it with your preferred washer fluid. Go ahead and reinstall the cap. At this point, you want to hop in the passenger compartment and test the functionality of your wiper nozzles, confirming that the front and the rear work as they should. Take it for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.